Welcome everyone to Productivity Tools. My name is Dominique Barnett, and I am joined by distinguished Toastmaster Fabiola Cleofa, and together we will be bringing you through some productivity tools that you can use and more information about them. So can I get a thumbs up when you can see my screen? Thumbs up, thumbs up. All right, thank you so much. Now, one of the first things I want to do is to show you what we will be discussing for this session. I'm going to walk you through some of the expectations, and then we will dive right into understanding what productivity is, because I think that's most important. Then I will hand over to distinguished Toastmaster Fabiola to take us through some useful productivity tools. And afterwards, we will open the floor to any questions and answers. So by the end of this session, and it will be a two-part session, is for all of you to be able to define what productivity is and the tools, what that is, to understand its importance, as well as the challenges that we may experience in being productive. We would also like for you to be able to list some special considerations when it comes to choosing a productivity tool. And lastly, to identify some different productivity applications that are available, as well as how best to use them. So I will start things off with a little activity, and I call this fill in the blanks. And so this is the interactive segment, and I hope that you will participate. What will happen is I will give you a scenario, and it will have some blanks. And I would just like for you to open your mics and let me know how you would fill it in. And of course, it is related to productivity. So let us start. I'm running late and I need to contact my boss. I need to make a blank on my blank. What do you think that could be?
Call on myself.
Call on your smartphone.
You guys are too smart.
Call on my phone.
Too smart, too smart. Fantastic, fantastic. Of course, that's what we would do. Okay, you're getting a hang of it. So the next one. VP Ed has confirmed the date for the speech contest, and I quickly make a blank in my blank.
Note in my diary.
Note in my agenda.
Okay.
Note in my agenda.
Note in my agenda.
So, all right. We will work with that. That's fine.
Update in my calendar.
So notes are fine, reminders in fine, diaries and calendars. Yes, you got it correct. And the third and final one. The deadline was fast approaching and I was still editing the blank in blank.
The draft in Word.
Okay, I got, okay. Thank you, BT and Brenda. It's not that difficult. You guys got this. All right. So this is the hint. So it is Word, and I chose essay, but it could be draft or anything of your choosing. Definitely. So we have a good sense of what we would do in certain situations and what we would use to carry out certain tasks. Correct? Correct?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to move straight into the meat of the matter, which is to define for you what productivity is. Now, according to the Cambridge Dictionary, it is the rate at which a company, a person, or an individual does useful work. And what we can do is to divide productivity into, say, two parts, workforce productivity, and we have personal productivity. Workforce productivity refers to the total amounts of goods and services that workers can produce in a certain period of time. Personal productivity, speaking to us as individuals, refers to the relevant outputs of an individual in a certain period, and relevant pertaining to a specific task that you have to accomplish.
So knowledge.
So yes, any task that you may have, it could be folding the clothes, but this one is specific to something that you intend to carry out, relevant. All right. And so when you have knowledge of what productivity is, you may then be led to ask, why is it so critical? What is all the buzz with productivity, and why should we seek to be productive? So I've decided to answer that question by looking at 4 areas: businesses, workers, individuals, and the economy. And I'll go straight into it, starting with businesses. The first reason why it's so important
You have the land of double the pump?
for them is that it is a means of increasing their profits. And of course, this is very important for businesses, correct? You want to increase your profit. So we find that when productivity increases, and that's either what you've outputted increases, or the cost to do so has decreased, or if you get a combination of both, then this will lead to higher profits. And what the companies can then do is reinvest that in their business and lead to further development. They could purchase more resources to assist them. If it is a situation where the company has shareholders, then there are greater returns on their dividends. And if it is that they're feeling also generous, then you as employees can look forward to perhaps a bonus at the end of the year. And then we're looking at the workers now. You're in your office space. Why is productivity so important to you? It helps to motivate the workplace culture. What that means is to create a culture of productivity. For me, when I was in university and in high school, I had that one person who would always be pushing me to do more and to do better. So if it is that I got an 80 or a 90, this other person would get higher than that. And so we'd be constantly competing. But it wasn't anything malicious. It was just so encouraging to have someone pushing me on. And that is what you would want to happen in a workplace setting. So productivity is something that when it starts off strong, it is contagious. And so your coworkers will feed off that. Everybody will seek to be working smarter and harder. And then you have, even better than that, a friendly office culture coming out of it. So that is the importance to us as workers and the benefit. As individuals, productivity is important because it's good for the mental health, as well as can increase your value, which I will speak to soon. I don't know about all of you, but whenever I complete a task that was really large, or I didn't think that I would complete it, and I completed it, I feel so much lighter. It feels as if a burden has been lifted off my shoulders. And I'd like to think that it is the same for you. When it is that you have accomplished the task you set out to complete, you don't have to bring this task home with you. You accomplish more than you thought you would. You have the, stress and the anxiety that would come with the task at hand is no longer present. And that's what you want. The more productive you are, the less stress you have to deal with, the less anxiety you have to deal with. And of course, when it comes to the value aspect of it, suppose you wanted to change jobs, or you wanted to negotiate a higher salary with your supervisor. Then you have, quote unquote, leverage. You can market yourself at a position of strength. You can tell your employer or your future employer that I am an efficient worker. I can finish all my tasks in an effective manner, and I can do it accurately. So you are marketing yourself from a position of strength and value. And lastly, the economy. The economy is greatly contributed because of productivity. We know that when there is productivity in our macro and micro companies, the nation will see a boost in its offerings, increasing sales, increasing the volume, produced and an increase in profit. And then we see the overall rise in our gross domestic product, and we see a rise for the better in standard of living. So in all of these areas, there is a benefit to productivity, hence why it is so important to be productive. But of course, productivity does not come easy. At least for me, it does not. And so we have some challenges that we sometimes face in being productive. The first one is multitasking. And I'm sure that some of you, this is a familiar challenge. Now, multitasking seems like a great way to do things. You know, you're getting everything done. I'm taking off this task and I'm going forward. But research has shown that that is not the case. Our brains are not as good as we think they are in handling multiple tasks. And this is supported by a study on the multi-costs of multitasking by psychologists and professors Anthony Wagner and Kevin Maduri. And what they found in their study was that we tend to work slower than we intended and less efficiently when we multitask. And this is because there is an increased demand being placed on our brains when we are jumping from one task to the other. And I'm sure that we can think back and say, you know, it's kind of true. I intended to finish something quickly and I thought I was doing well. It wasn't the case. And so one of the things that we can try to look at in addressing this challenge is to limit how many tasks we juggle. Or if we must juggle multiple tasks, batch similar tasks. That is one of the points that we can take away in managing this. And it points to the productivity tools later on in this segment. Now, when we look at time management, this is another one. As was spoken about when we were in the main room, 24 hours is not enough. I'm sure we wish that we had more time. And once we get on that mindset or we're on that wavelength where we need more time, we know that time management and proper time management must come into play. When you have poor time management, this leads to more stress and anxiety because you're constantly rushing to finish or to meet a deadline or finish a particular task. And of course, the quality of your work is affected significantly and most likely in a negative sense. So if you want to manage this challenge, we know that, again, we cannot multitask and we have to prioritize as best as possible our activities. Then comes the distractions. I'm going to give you this scenario and you can give me a thumbs up or a nod if it sounds like it resonates with you or you have experienced it. You've come into the office physically. You've taken a seat at your desk. The first task on your plate is to prepare some reports for a meeting that is coming up or any other document. And as soon as you get about to do it, you get a text message. You look at the text, it's from your coworker down the hall or 2 desks to the right asking you, what is your lunch order? You just come to work and lunch is a far way off, but you send in your lunch order just the same. Then you're checking your emails and you're seeing an email from your supervisor asking you to complete the spreadsheet and send it back. So you stop and you go and do that. Then somebody comes by and they have a question about some business process and they're asking you, how can I do this? What I'm supposed to do? And you're responding to that person. And as the day goes on, you find that you've only worked on your document for about 2-3 minutes and you've already had so many interruptions. Let's call it a dozen interruptions. Does that sound like something that has happened to you? Yes. That is the art of distractions. And that has already affected your productivity because this task is important to you and you want to finish it. And what we know about distractions is that it can cause a long time to get back to what you're doing and to finish it on time, properly, accurately, efficiently. And this is all backed up by so much research online, but specifically by the Association for Psychological Science. Distractions, they not only lead us to procrastinate, lose focus, try and multitask, they perhaps may lead us to take on more anxiety and stress, or you may just find that you did not finish the task and then you may get berated later on down the line. And we don't want that. So when it comes to distractions, time management has to be our focus, organization, and monitoring our usage on our phone and on our email, because we know that we get a lot of emails. And lastly, I'm going to touch on motivation. The motivation, this is something that is sometimes brought forth from within, and we have external motivation, but it is a major factor in determining how productive a person can be. You may generate it internally from curiosity or the fact that you enjoy what you do, you like the task, or you may be motivated because of some reward that is shared in the department, or some reinforcement, negative or positive, a punishment perhaps that is coming if you don't complete this. So you're motivated. And what I found is that if you make a commitment to doing something, or you try and create some connection with the task, why I need to do it, then that will help when it comes to motivating, when it comes to motivation. But overall, we must understand that motivation is a feeling and it is fleeting. And so if we wait until we're motivated to do something, chances of us being as productive as we want to be are very slim. And so we need to find something more solid to hold on to than motivation. So while it is important, we need something else to anchor our need to be productive onto. And so to wrap up all that I've discussed, the main focus is that if you focus on being productive, in spite of everything that is going on, if you focus on that, noting that in doing so, your life will be easier, work will be faster and more meaningful, then we can guarantee that everything else in your life will be smooth sailing, work-related or personal. And so we get to the exciting part, which is the productivity tools. What are they? They are literally anything that allows you to do your work in a more efficient manner. Some of the best tools are those that are simple and allow you to easily maximize your time and the tasks that you can complete, as well as those that address the 4 factors that challenge your productivity. We find that there are various ones that you can use. You can find them on the App Store, the Google Play Store, tailored to all different interests. And the main features of productivity are those that focus on collaboration and focus on management. And this can be project management or time management. Overall, these tools are supposed to help you get the latest updates on information and stay in contact with people that you need to stay in contact with, as well as to prioritize your schedules, stay up to date with deadlines, and keep all your ideas and your files organized. That's what a productivity tool is supposed to do. And to wrap it up, I just want to share with you some considerations about productivity tools, because there are so many to choose from, and you don't want to choose the wrong one or the one that you thought would work and it ultimately didn't, and you have to find something else. The first thing to focus on is usability. How is this tool going to change the way that I work? Is it going to disrupt my life for the better or for worse? And understand that it may take some time to get used to whatever productivity tool you choose, but ultimately it is supposed to work in your favor. So is it going to do what I want it to do? The task that I want to complete, will it help? Then we look at ease of use. The tool that you've chosen may have so many bells and whistles. So it may help you to schedule, or it may help you to track your water consumption, But at the end of the day, if all you want to do is to talk to your members of your team easily, then you know that some of these features are not important. What is important is it easy for me to use? So does it do what you want it to do, and is it easy for me to use? And in the long run, if you find that the interface is kind of difficult, the X bar that you see in the top left-hand corner doesn't actually close the application. If it requires you to think long and hard how to use it, then you have to take into consideration that this may not be the best application for me, or that further time needs to be spent on learning how to use it. And lastly, scalability. Can this tool support me in the future? If it is that it's helping me to be more organized and I'm running out of space, can I increase the space? Is it that I need to speak to persons outside of my organization? So I need to message people on Facebook or on Microsoft Teams or talk to them on Zoom. Can this application integrate and allow me to do so? So you want an application that helps you to meet the needs that you have and those of your organization, as well as be flexible in the future. But overall, before I hand over, please note that there is no single tool that does everything. So make sure that you ask the right questions in moving forward. At this time, I will hand over to Distinguished Toastmaster Fabiola for productivity tools.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And indeed, the last 3 points we need to take into consideration: usability, ease of use, and scalability. But don't get frustrated if at first, when you get into it, you need to learn. Don't get frustrated, because the main thing is, will this help me with my productivity? One of the applications that I have been taken on as undergraduate of the Google Institute, that's my favorite one. Yes, it's not the only one that we can use, but I found for myself that it helps me in a lot of ways. For starter, my emails, I use Gmail. I used to have, and I was using Yahoo, and there was another one called Email, not Gmail, very first one, Email. I have used Hotmail also, but I did switch to Google. And when I switched to Google, it has helped me a lot with more things that I could put on to help my productivity. So today, I'm going to go through a couple of items that I am using with Google that helps me a lot. And mostly things that helps in the arena of contest. We are in the contest period. So it is general, but I will specifically also tackle some of the things you may be able to use with Google, Google Forms, Google Drive that will help you also in contest time. The first thing, how to locate Google applications. You just type in google.com, and if you do have an account, it will pop up like this. If not, it will ask you to make a Google account. I love doing these presentations live, but I'm choosing today to share with you a PowerPoint presentation with screen shares, so you can also get this presentation later on. So the first thing that you do is you locate what we call the waffle. And when you click on this, it will give you pull down with a lot of applications of Google: Gmail, Drive, Google Docs, Contacts, and so on and so on. Some of them you have heard of outside of being part of having a Google account, like Google Maps. Everyone talks about Google Maps, and you can use that application on its own. But there are some that you will need to have an account and be able to use it. So having gone to the google.com, you locate the waffle and you choose your application that you're going to use. You heard before, Drive, collaboration. So if you choose to go to the Drive, there is one of the tools in Google that you can, from there, you can manage a lot of items in your Google. This way, okay. When I click on the Drive, I can start collaborating. I can start making forms. I can start making surveys, work on text files, drafts that we can collaborate by putting in a folder that I can share with other members of the executive or a group that is working on a project by giving them access to that folder. You have spreadsheet, and the one that I'm going to pay most attention to today is the Google Forms. Google Forms are excellent forms that you can use for your contest, the voting, submission of voting. So a lot of people, they think about, okay, we can use the form, screenshot it and send it via WhatsApp or via email. But there is another way that actually being part of the region quarterfinals, that is what Toastmaster International uses for international judges all over the world judging at the regional quarterfinals. They use Google Forms when you judge the contestants of all the districts. When you have you use the actual ballot, judging ballot, the international judging ballot, but you remember that the bottom part that you need to clear off and put in an envelope. Well, that part is the result, and Toastmaster International uses a Google form for the judges to submit their votes. So this is something that you can learn also at club level, area level, division level, district level to use part of it. When you go to work on a form, you can choose by clicking on a blank form or template, and getting to working on your forms, you can choose how I mentioned, showed you just now. So by clicking on the pull down and choose forms, or you can type in Google Forms and it will pop up also without being through the other way. Then you click and start creating a new form. This is how the form, the blank form, looks like. You click on it, you start typing the title, and at this moment, if you have paid attention, in the chat there should be a link just for you to savor what it is to get a form that you made in Google Form. Click on it and you can interact and get the results that you want. So you start typing in the title, and this is your menu bar when you need to create the different questions. You can have a very complicated one or a simple one. You can have one that is one single page and one that takes you to next and next and next. When you have designed your form, you can share the link as it has been shared with you in the chat by clicking on this icon over here, which is send. And which is sent, and I'm missing a part here directly to it. And let me see if we can get there. Okay. When you click on the send, you're supposed to have a window like this, and you have seen it also in the presentation where the QR form. You will find the send form. You can choose to send it by email. That's when you have the email of all the participants that you want to get this form, or you can work with it as a link. And when you click on it, it will generate a long link, but you can shorten it. And that is what you copy and share. So this is this one, shorten and share it in the chat with you. If you have answered them, you will be seeing you that created the form at the top. You will see that the response is coming in. So that form that I shared with you, when I go into the administration part of the form, I can see them. But the administration form part, I do not share it with others. I share it only, talking about contest, I share it with the chief judge, because the chief judge needs to see the results. And the way for me that created this form to share with the chief judge and the counters will be by clicking on the three dots here, and I will get another window. And this is the link that I can copy and share with those that need to see the results. And the results will come in a Google Doc, which is an Excel, and all the results will come here. And it is time stamped. You will find the name. In this one was a form of to get information of all participants. So this is the example that you're seeing. So all the questions that I have put in the form, they will come in, and I can see the results and work with it. This is a closer view of how you will get the link to share. Now you will get the link in order for everyone to work with it that doesn't have an account. You need to either anyone with a link or specify who you are giving that link with. But here is a problem, a little bit of a problem, because it doesn't work very well all the time with other emails platforms like Hotmail, especially Hotmail, but Yahoo and so on. The person that has another email, they will need to accept and get authorization to look into it. But that's not a big problem. The other thing that you will need to take into consideration, if you are sharing the link, do you want the persons to be only viewers, or do they be able, if they can comment, or editors? And this especially when you're sharing a draft of a text or an Excel sheet that you need collaboration on. You will need to specify what you want those that are getting the link, how they want to work on. In the drive, you will get my drive, and those are everything that I create. But for instance, in the contest, if I'm sharing the Google Forms with the chief judge or the counters, it will come in the shared with me because they are not the owners of the form, but there is where they can find it and collaborate with you. Now, again, this is something not Google related, but it has to do with the forms, with the contest. Whenever you have a team of judges, you want to be able to communicate directly with them. Now, if you are in Zoom, it is very difficult to communicate with a group of 5, 7 persons while everybody else is also communicating in the chat. And when I say everybody, not necessarily the participants, but because most of the time during a contest, it is deactivated, and that is the other problem. If it's deactivated, you cannot, as a as the team, communicate through Zoom. So you need to find some other way to do that, and the best one is to do it via WhatsApp. How do you do that? Well, you create a team, and I'm going to show you how it's easy to make a group. Now, if you want to make a group, you need to have all those persons that is going to be your judges, your counters, your timers. You need to have their contact information in order for you to add them to the group. Sometimes it's only for that weekend or that day. You don't want to put everyone in that. So what you will do is create your WhatsApp group, find your invite group via link, and you will send it via an email or some other way to them. And the only thing they have to do is click on the link, and they will be part of this group. And when you click on invite via the link, you will get the copy link, and this is what you are going to share with them. That easy is how you get the group together. Another thing that I'm going to share with you is also how to share documents that you get in email, to share it with a person that says, I need this on my laptop. The way to do it, you are on your WhatsApp, you click on the icon for share, but you will not forward it, you will share. When you click on share, it will give you the opportunity to choose mail. When you choose mail, it will open a window with the attached form, or it might be also the link of the Zoom, by sending it to the email of the person. Type in the email that you want to send it to, and just hit send. This is one way to collaborate and make your productivity faster. I will finish this presentation and just go to the digital fillable PDF, and I will show you also some other things on there. One of the things that we have seen the time zone. A lot of people, they have a big problem with getting to translate what time it is. The best one to do is by using Google Calendar. And you do not use it only for that, but everything that you want to schedule. And you can invite others to whatever meeting you have, in person or via Zoom. The way to get your link in the Google Calendar or in a calendar is when you have created your meeting, you will find Add to. Just click on one of these, either Outlook, Yahoo Calendar, or Google Calendar. As I told you, I'm an undergraduate of Google Institute, so I use Google Calendar. and it will go automatically into my calendar or the calendar of those that you are sharing this with. And the neat thing about this is it will appear in their calendar in their time zone, especially us in the Caribbean. If I am in Jamaica and I put Jamaican time, it's different from Curacao time. And then I have to scratch what time is the meeting. Well, if you do it via Google Calendar, it will be received by the recipient in their time zone. So no worries about that. That's another way to make your time more productive, We do have, I will stop sharing, but as I promised, I will show you one more thing on the part of working with PDF, and I need the signature. Okay, let me see. Share this. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is the judge's certification. When you receive it in email from the chief judge, or if you're a speaker, you receive the certificate of speaker eligibility. You open it and you download it. When you download it, this form is a fillable form. And when you need to work with it, you will have to go into the field and you just double click on it and you will get to fill it out. It is a area contest. I'm participating in judging the humorous. And the one thing, how do I sign this? And this is the part. You will go here, and if you can see, do you see this pencil here? Click on it, and you can see, I hope you can see it. You will get another menu, and here you see kind of like a signature, and you can create your signature. Now, I'm working on an Mac computer, but I'm sure you can do that also on your Windows or PC. With my pad, I can, and I'm doing this with my fingers. Okay, return, enter. Oops, okay, let me see. Uh-oh, I didn't click on it first. Okay, let me see if I can get. My trackpad. I know, because I am within the windows, I cannot show you this. But here, I have finished doing my signature. If I click on return, I will just go out for a moment, stop sharing, and then I can try to. Okay, I think I got stuck here. Dominique, can you stop sharing for me? Yes, okay. So let me just make it correct here, and I will share it again with you. Okay, so I've shown you how you can activate the pad, and then I already have made mine. So what I'll do is I'll just click on it and insert it, so I can from here have my signature here. And if I cannot do it by doing it with my hands, I can just type in here also. So this is how you can make your life easier to do your contest. by using the tools that you have and make it work for you. So at this point, I open the floor for any question, either for me or for Dominic.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Let me turn on. We got some questions earlier in the chat, and the first was from Lucette Raj. She commended you on the great and useful tips, but she said she has a question. I am retired and at home. How can I be less distracted or interrupted if I'm distracted with my home issues, television, grandchildren, family, etc.?
Well, one thing, try to use a earpiece. It minimizes, and it also helps dampen a lot of noise, not all, but a lot of noise around you, that you can do that. And yeah, use background that can help. If you cannot, try to put your camera, your device in a way that it does get at an angle that it doesn't have a lot of things behind you. And yeah, those are some tips that I can give. Maybe Dominic, you have some more?
Well, I definitely agree with the noise cancelling headphones if you're able to get them. I had the opportunity to try a pair one time when I was volunteering somewhere, and I was so surprised at how quiet everything was. And I was like, wow, this really helps. So noise cancelling headphones. But other than that, I would suggest sometimes you have to talk it out with the family and let them know that I am doing something at this time. I will get back to you at X time. You could perhaps schedule them. But we need to create a boundary to let people know that this is my time between X and X. And sometimes if like your grandkids are getting very anxious and they want to see you very often, then you'll have to, or you may have to break up your time and your tasks. So even though we have, if you're in a working setting and you have your set office hours, then because you said you were at home, you have the flexibility of pausing, attending to the grandkids, and then returning to what you're doing. But if it is that you're not working, you can still do that, being flexible with your time. So that is what I would recommend. And as Dita and Fabiola said, the environment helps too. If it is overly noisy, you have the headphones, or you could try and find something else as background noise that would minimize the noise of the kids and more create a calming atmosphere for you and anybody else who is interacting with you via the headset or anything like that. So that's what I would say.
Thank you. All right, so Lucette sounds like she's satisfied. Great. And I'm definitely going to have to check out that noise canceling headphones. All right, so the next question is coming from Marilyn Passell. And she said, how do you shorten the link without losing information? I think she wanted to, that may be something that you'd have to.
Okay, this is part of the other presentation, but you won't be able to. So when you have created your link, your meeting, you will get the long list link that you will be shortening, but it will give you also the ID, the meeting ID, and if there is also a password. The only time that you will not get a ID, a Zoom ID, is when you create a registered link. So a link that people needs to register to attend the meeting. If you do have one like that, it is very, very long. The only thing that you can do is do the shorten link, but or create a how do you say it? The QR code. But talking to you, I do have another way to do that, and I will try to show you like this. Go ahead with another question because I have to prepare to show you how I can create it.
Okay, no problem. Janet Plummer, distinguished Toastmaster Janet Plummer said, will using Google Docs to create forms and other documents use up her Google storage?
Ask that again, sorry.
Using the Google Docs to create forms, will it use up her Google storage?
Yes, it will use up Google storage. So you can get a certain amount for free, or you can upgrade by paying, I think it is like $9 per month or something like that. So but you get quite some storage space. What you can do is try to clean it up, from time to time, the same way as you try to clean up your WhatsApp, your phone, etc.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Now, the final question, because I think Barbara is satisfied. Nirmala, she said, when you made a flyer or any other information and you want to share this on WhatsApp, how do you do this?
Okay, let me go for the other one of Madeline. This is a long link, and I am now in Word. One way to shorten it without losing is when I click on it, I right click on it. Oh, sorry, I double clicked on it just now. I need to right click on it. Okay, when I right click on it, it will give me a hyperlink option. I will ask it to edit hyperlink. And what I can do here is, for instance, this has an ID. The text to display, I will say, okay, this is the ID. It was embedded in the complete link. So when I do this, the address link is intact. I do not do...
Fabiola, could you draw the window over?
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Okay,
Great.
thanks. Okay, the so it opens. I right click on it. It opens the hyperlink. I ask for edit hyperlink. I edit the display text. The address stays the same. When I say okay, it has shortened it. It is a hyperlink. So if I share this in WhatsApp, for instance, by its own, this also, by clicking on it, you see how it changes. It will, if the person that receives it, it's the same thing as clicking on that long link. This is another easy way to shorten a link that you have. Okay?
Yes. That's perfect.
And the other one that Nirmala was asking, how to share, yeah. What's
in WhatsApp? Yes, share a document or a flyer.
I have shown you how to share it from your WhatsApp to your email. Actually, you can do it the same way, but then you have to be on your phone. So on your phone, you can access, if you can access your email, you will open that email, you have that document, and you just copy that document and paste it in WhatsApp on your phone. The other way is when you receive the handout, somewhere in there, I mentioned also to activate your WhatsApp document on your desktop. You just Google and look for WhatsApp for desktop. Then you will open that and you can switch things by opening your WhatsApp on your laptop and paste documents on the WhatsApp. So people that are using their WhatsApp on their phone and yourself also will have it in your WhatsApp.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Fabiola and Toastmaster Dominique. Are there any other questions? We do have just under 5 minutes remaining. So if you have one more question that you want to be answered, go right ahead. If it's whether it's on the presentation or just productivity in general. All right, not seeing any.
Okay.
I have a comment. We did have a like a boss series previously. In there also, Toastmaster Dominic has given a lot of tip on using PowerPoint, how to use it more effectively. And also I have shared also a lot of other tips on Google and Google applications. So in your goodie tech bag, you will also get those to be able to access.
All right, so please do take advantage of your goodie bag because you have a lot of information provided there and you don't want, and if there's something that you missed or you thought, you know, it could have been a little bit slow, you can watch it, pause it, slow it down. So take advantage.